Hi there. Welcome to the Schwowin's Nest. I'm excited to share that today's video is sponsored by XTool, and I'll be working with the M1 10-watt laser machine. For those of you who have been watching me for a while now, you'll know that I have been selling craft kits on my Etsy shop, and this is another one that will be available as of today. It's a really fun pumpkin candle holder, but I think you could probably do all sorts of things with this besides putting a candle on the inside of it. So the first thing I'm doing with all of my wood pieces that you see here is I'm going to stain them with sort of a brown color. You can see this is just a watered down burnt umber with a little bit of gray and black. And I'm going to do the round disc pieces like that. And then I'm going to do half of these half circles. These are going to be the outside edges of the pumpkin. It's really neat once you see it put all together. For the other half of the pumpkin pieces, I'm using another watered down paint, and this is called Honey Brown, and it's by Americana. And it's just a really nice muted, sort of rusty orange color. And this is my favorite color to use for fall because it's not really bright. So 6 of them are going to be brown, and 6 of them are going to be this honey brown color, which is sort of an orange. And I'm just going to keep on staining these, and then we'll put it all together. To put this together, you start with one of the rounded pieces and then both of the discs. And you'll see the disc on the top has a little slot in it, and that will be for the pumpkin stem. We'll do that towards the end. Now, I'm using hot glue to glue this together, and it just fits together like a puzzle. Really fun and easy to do. I chose to use hot glue just mainly for the purpose of this video, but if I was doing this and I wanted it to have a permanent hold, I would definitely use some wood glue or some super glue, something that's going to have a really strong permanent hold. Now that I have the first two on and they're brown, I'm going to alternate with the brown and then the orange and then the brown all the way around. So I figured out what would be the next piece that would be in this north, south, east, west formation, which I'm kind of doing because that's going to help this little guy stand up while I glue on the rest of it. So I'll just take you through this really quick so you can see how I do it. Lastly, I'll put the stem on and this project is done. I think it would be beautiful with some candles in it or maybe some greenery, a few other little pumpkins. I've got it styled on a pedestal and I think that looks beautiful too. Right now, XTool is celebrating their third anniversary carnival. You get up to 60% off some items and 4% cash back. And this is valid from September 20th through to October 6th. If you've ever thought about getting an engraving machine, now is the time. You can save so much money in all of these machines, and they have so many different types that you can choose what works for you. My favorite, of course, is the one I have. It's the XTool M1 laser engraver and cutter. And what I love about this is that it's not only an engraver, a scoring tool, and a cutting tool for wood, it also has a cutting blade for vinyl and paper. So if you don't have a Cricut machine or that type of cutting machine, you can get a 2-for-1 here. So now is the time to check this out. There's going to be a link down in my description box to all of the different machines that are on sale, plus everything that you need to be able to get started with your first cutting machine. Now that the project is done, let me show you how I created it from start to finish. This is the XTool software program that you get free with your device. I am using the M1, as I said earlier. Now, they have some projects that are already created for you. So all you have to do is basically put your wood in and turn on your machine. Let's take a look at some of them. They've got earrings, they've got some tumblers, they've got wood pieces and metal pieces. I'm going to search for a pumpkin, and this is what comes up. So this is a felt pumpkin candy bag, and here's my pumpkin candle holder. I'm going to click on this one and then select Start Project, and that will open this project up in the software. Here's what all of the pieces of this project look like. So when I'm cutting things out for craft projects, this is what it looks like. They're all individual pieces. So what I'm going to need to do for this one is change the parameters, which means I have to change from the XTool D1 Pro, which you can see up in the right-hand top corner. I'm going to have to change it to the XTool M1, which is the machine that I have. And I'm just going to click OK. It says, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I want to switch the parameters, which means that it's going to be changing the size and how it's set up on the software. What happens when you connect your machine is it automatically takes a picture of the inside of the machine at the bottom. So where the wood would be placed, which is what I have here now. I've placed a piece of 3mm basswood right inside the machine. It's automatically refreshing it and making sure that it is the most current image that has been captured by the camera. When I first started using this software, I found it was much easier to navigate than any of the other cutting machines that are out there. I have used a couple of other different types of machines, and this was really simple to get used to. Right now, on the right-hand side, I'm changing all of these different options. So my material is basswood. The thickness is automatically set to 0.118. I changed the height raised. I wanted it to be on top of the triangular prisms, which are on the bottom of my machine. And the reason I'm doing that is I want there to be a little bit more air underneath so the smoke can get out a little quicker. Now I'm just going to be playing around with all of these pieces to make sure I can get them fitting on my piece of wood where I need them to be in order to cut them out. Once I've completed that, I'm going to make sure that we're set to cut. The XTool M1 can do cutting, scoring, and engraving, but I want to make sure that I have it set to the cut function for this project. Then I'm going to click on the word process down at the bottom and let the machine get ready to start cutting out the wood. I'm going to be moving things around on the screen here, but you can kind of see the outline of all of the pieces on my board. And then I'm going to go up to the top and click on Start. Now we're going to move over to the machine and you can see that this button is glowing. I'm going to press that and that's going to prompt the laser to start cutting. What I love about the XTool M1 is that it has the ability to cut indoors. I'm in my craft room and this is where I have the machine set up. So it's got the lid on it, it closes everything, and then it also has a large hose that gets vented to the outside through a window. And that's perfect because all of the fumes go outside and I don't have to smell any of the wood burning. So it beeps when it's finished. So I'm going to open the lid and here you can see all of the pieces that I told it to cut are now cut out of this basswood. So I'm just going to pick them up and take them out. I do have to cut again for 3 more pieces that didn't fit on this. But all of those little pieces in between that didn't have any cuts on them, I save everything for all of my smaller cutout pieces that I need. So there's really not a lot of waste on this, even though it looks like it. These are the triangular prisms that I use underneath my project. This just really helps to keep the smoke away and raises it up a little bit higher so when the little pieces fall down, they have somewhere to go. With the XTool software, you can just simply click on a new project and you can actually just do whatever text you want as well. So I just clicked on the text tool on the left-hand column and over here on the right, I'm going to click into the text box and type in what I want it to say. Now this is going to be the Schwowin's nest. I'm going to do some engraving on some wood. Now I don't like this font, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it and decide what type of font I'd like to have. There are a bunch of different types that you can choose from that are specific to XTool, but then they also go into what is installed in your system. I thought it would be fun to engrave up
couple of paintbrushes. And I'm actually going to have these available on my Etsy shop too. For those of you who love my channel and you're doing some crafting, hopefully then I can inspire you every time you pick up this paintbrush. I'm going to have to change some of these settings. It's a user-defined material, which is what I have. It's the paintbrush. I've changed the height. I'm not raising the height. So I'm going to be taking out all of those triangular prisms because this is thicker than some basswood. So now I've refreshed the page. And what I'm going to be doing now is clicking on the little ruler, which is automatically going to take another picture and decide how thick my paintbrush is. So every time it refreshes, it changes what it looks like on the screen. So now I'm going to take my letters, I'm going to shrink them down so they can fit right on top of the paintbrush handle, and they're going to get a little tiny, but it turns out so darn cute. Once I have it to the size I need, then I'm going to change it from score to engrave. Once I do that, the letters actually fill in. So now you can see that they're solid blue, whereas before it was just the outline. And that's the difference between scoring and engraving. Scoring is just the outline of the shapes or the letters, and engraving is the whole thing being filled in. So now I'm going to hit that start button. I'm going to go over to the machine, push that blue button again, and let it do its thing. Here on the processing page, you can see the little gears working, and it just calculates how much time it takes to complete each project. And here they are. I think they turned out absolutely adorable. And as I said, they'll be available on my Etsy shop in a couple of sizes. Thank you, XTool, for sponsoring today's video. And as I said earlier, everything will be listed down in my description box so you can decide which machine works best for you. If you have any questions, by all means, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you figure that out. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, that notification bell, and the subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything else I have to share. Thanks so much for spending some of your time with me today. Bye for now.